Okay, we're going to be solving this quadratic equation by completing the square. So to do this completing the square, you need to know your perfect trinomial and your special binomials. This was done in different unit. Okay, so for example, you need to be able to copy down the first two terms here. X squared plus 16x. I just copy this down from the original problem that's given. Okay, plus blank equals binomial square. You should be able to fill this out on your own. Okay, divide the 16 by 2, and then you're going to get 8. So that's going to give me x plus 8. Okay, and then square the 8, and you're going to have 64 here. Okay, this is a special binomial, special multiplication. Okay, to go back to 64, you can just do the box method, x plus 8, x plus 8, x squared, 8x, 8x, 64, okay? And then you know that these two will always add on to each other. It's going to double. They're always going to be the same number. You're going to add them together, and they're always going to give me 16. Okay, so that's where you get your 8 from. This number right here, 64, is when you square these two numbers. You're always going to get the same number here. This is a special one. So you need to drill this one, and you need to really know this one. Okay, and then you know from here that your special C is going to be 64. I'm going to call this a perfect C. Perfect C here is 64. Looking at the original problem that's given to us, we're given -1 or -1. This is not a perfect C, so I'm going to get rid of it by adding 1 both sides. So we have x squared plus 16x equals 16. Okay? So then I'm going to have to put the perfect C in here plus 64, but I have to do it to both sides so I don't change the value of the equation. I'm going to add it to both sides. Okay? So make the room for your perfect C, plug in the perfect C, but you have to do it to both sides. Okay, that's a common mistake. A lot of times students will only add the 64 to one side, but you have to do it to both sides. So then I'm gonna have x squared plus 16x plus 64 equals 80. Okay, so always have this out. We're gonna be using this again. Okay, so now that you have your perfect trinomial, okay, this trinomial is going to be replaced with the binomial that we came up with. Because of the equal sign, as you can see here, they're replaceable. The perfect trinomial here is replaceable by the square of the sum of x and 8. So I'm going to rewrite this trinomial into x plus 8 squared, and then that equals to 80. Okay, this is the most challenging part of the whole equation. Now from here, we're gonna have to solve for x. Again, you're solving for x. We gotta get rid of the square first. Okay, so then we're gonna square root both sides. X plus 8 is equal to plus or minus square root of 80. Okay, again, whenever you square root both sides, you have to have plus or minus here. You're gonna have two answers. Okay, and then you're gonna subtract 8 both sides. Okay, x is going to be -8 plus or minus square root of 80. Okay, so they do not combine because one of them is in the square root and one of them isn't. But you're not done here. You gotta simplify the square root of 80. So on the side, I'm gonna review how to simplify the square root of 80. Square root of 80 could be split here. It's 8 and 10. 8 is 4 and 2. This gives you 2 and 5. This goes further out. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 of 2's and the 5. This is a square root. So any number that's multiplied by itself twice will get kicked out of the radical. So here's 1. Okay, and then here's another 1. And then what's inside the radical is 5. So that gives me 4 radical 5. So you rewrite this. X is equal to -8 plus or minus 4 square root of 5. And that is your answer. Now, what if? Okay, what if instead of 4 square root of 5, you have something that's prettier? a perfect square. So let's say you had x equals negative 8. Okay, this is what if. Negative 8 plus or minus square root of 9, let's say. Okay, this is, again, what if. So then you can rewrite this as negative 8 plus 3, because square root of 9 is 3. Negative 8 minus 3. You actually have to work them out. So then this is going to give me negative 5, and this is going to give me negative 11. So then these two will be your answer in that case. So you need to know how to simplify your radicals, okay? If you can't get those perfect, if you can't simplify the radical any further, then you just leave it as a radical term. If you can simplify the radical, you actually have to work it out, okay? And that's it.